Tom with ActiveATX, and I'm here going to do a minimalist shoe showdown for you guys. I'm going to go through and talk about several different pairs of shoes here and discuss the pros and the cons and what I like most and what I like least about these shoes. So at the end of this product review, we're going to have one minimalist shoe winner. I'm going to start off with the Brooks Green Silence. This is a shoe that's a little bit it doesn't quite fit in the minimalist shoe categories. It's a very lightweight shoe. However, this shoe's got an 8mm drop, so a heel-to-toe drop, so it doesn't quite put you in the full minimalist running position. I found when I was wearing this shoe that over long distances I'd start to get that lower back and knee pain that I typically get when I'm running in normal shoes. So these shoes are really lightweight, especially all things considered that they're not really minimalist shoes. They hold up pretty well. I've done trail runs in them. They're not a trail run shoe, as you can kind of see by the bottom of it. There's really no traction in there. Great on the road, except for the fact that if you're really looking for a minimalist shoe, this isn't. I'm going to next go and kind of bring out the shoe that kind of started it all in terms of here in the United States. It's the goofy Vibram Five Fingers. It's a good shoe. Really, it introduced a lot of people into the minimalist shoe. It's good for running in. I started out actually just wearing mine more for the gym. What I don't like about it is also the fact that you just garner so much attention, you have to answer so many questions, and you look pretty goofy in these. I'd much rather my shoes be kind of stealthy. So the other thing is, when you're first wearing these shoes, it takes a good, I don't know, a couple of weeks to be able to get your feet in it in a time frame that it should take you to put shoes on. The first time it took me like 5 minutes to get each shoe on. So I'm going to rule that one out pretty quickly as being my favorite minimalist shoe. My next shoe I'm going to go with is the Vivobarefoot Evo M. This shoe is going to be a zero drop shoe, not a lot of padding in it. This is a true minimalist shoe. It's made to be worn without socks, as with most of these shoes. And the good thing about this shoe is that you really do feel the surface of whatever you're standing on, so you do get that minimalist feeling. The bad about this shoe is it's really plasticky. It doesn't breathe very well, and originally this shoe sells for $160. This is not a $160 shoe. I got them for 75% off, and that's about right. And I got these right here at Backwoods in the Hill Country Galleria. Great shoe for 75% off. This shoe, it's the Inov8 Bare X180. And this is going to be a zero drop shoe. So again, it really falls in nicely into the minimalist shoe. Very lightweight. They didn't put much in terms of, I don't like the rubber. The rubber seems a little hard for traction. It's not very good in wet conditions. And to me, the toe box is a little wide, which traditionally, again, is okay for a minimalist shoe, but it's wider than your typical minimalist shoe. I wear this shoe mainly doing my CrossFit. I don't really run in this shoe anymore. One thing I have also found about this shoe compared to all the others is it retains the most horrible stinkiness within three runs or three times of wearing that none of these other shoes retain. I've washed this shoe. If you look at it, it looks brand new. I put this in the washing machine twice now, and it still stinks. So I don't know what they make the shoe out of, but it needs to maybe not retain stink so much. The next shoe I'm going to is the Brooks Pure Connect. Now this is a shoe with a 3mm drop, so again it's pretty good for a minimalist style shoe. What I like about this is I'm training for an ultra marathon coming up in January, and I was starting to notice that my feet were getting bruised when I started putting in a lot of mileage barefoot or just using some of these other shoes. This has a little bit more padding. Even though there's a 3mm drop, you can see there's more padding in the front and more in the back. It's got a really cushiony sole to it. It's great for long distance training. The first time I put these shoes on, I did what you're absolutely not supposed to do. I put them on barefoot and I went and ran 5 miles. and I got back after the run, my feet felt great. I was pretty sure I was going to be calling myself an absolute idiot for trying that. I was absolutely impressed with these. So these are my shoes that I'm going to for the bulk of my training. I'm going to give you a hint what came down to be my favorite minimalist shoes. There's only one pair of shoes on the table or two pairs of shoes that are the same. It's these new Balance Minimus. I got them in orange. I got them in black, because you never know what you're wearing. You gotta match. But actually, I rotate them to try to keep the wear down on them and try to keep them from smelling bad as well. Again, these are designed to be worn without socks. These, by far, are my favorite for lots of reasons. One, there's just enough padding where if you're on a trail, and I do a lot of trail running, it doesn't bruise your feet. But there's not too much padding in the fact that you can feel the trail underneath your foot, and you can mold your foot to the rocks. You can use it, and you get good traction with these. They're very lightweight. They do have a little bit wider toe box in there, which is good because your feet kind of spread out if you're actually doing it barefoot style. And the other thing that takes a little bit of getting used to initially is you got to tie these kind of tight up initially, so it feels a little tight around the top of your foot here. After you get used to that, again, these kind of take zero break-in if you're already a minimalist runner. I think we've discussed this several times on the website before. Do not buy a pair of minimalist shoes and think that you're a barefoot runner from the get-go. You've seen our website, and you've seen my black feet, the fact that I'll run 4 or 5 miles with no shoes on. I didn't decide to do that overnight. So be smart about it, work into your training. If you're going to run 5 miles, take your minimalist shoes, wear them for the first 800, switch, and then eventually just make that a little bit longer. So let me go down with a quick breakdown, and we'll go through just really quickly the price points on these. These are the old school, very first edition in and around that of the Vibram Five Fingers. I believe they're the KSO multi-sports. They're at $85. These right here are the Inov8 180 Bare X, and they retail for a whopping $115. They're a zero drop. Brooks Green Silence, these retailed at about $100. They are right at $100, and they have an 8mm drop. The New Balance retail at $100 as well. These have a 4mm drop. I can't really explain it, but they don't feel like it's a 4mm drop. These retail at $95. They have a 3mm drop, and then these retail for $160 and are a 0mm drop. The winner at the end of the day, there you go.